All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Ruel, and Shalom to you sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters listening and learning, and to you brothers preaching and teaching the truth through the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Nathan, come out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Come back with this article. It's made the newsways. It says, the roof collapses at a Dominican Republic nightclub, killing at least 98 people. And the so-called Dominicans would be the tribe of Simeon. All right, in the Paleo Hebrew, Shemayawan, which means what affliction heard. Okay, but anyways, yeah, one of the 12 tribes, right? It could be other Israelites scattered amongst there too, but nonetheless, it's the children of Israel. All right, that Yahweh Shem Shai rained down judgment on this nightclub, a famous nightclub. All right, and took out some famous people, whatnot. But as we know, man, the Lord is bringing judgment upon the earth, man, as we grow closer to the end. All right, we're already in the end times, but now we're in the end of the end. The end times started when Yahweh Shai got put to death on the cross. But now we're at the end of the end because here it is. We're on the brink of World War III. We're on the brink of full-blown Jacob's trouble. All right. We're on the brink of the MOT to the B, the Revelation 13 and 16. So, and Yahweh Shem Shai is moving fast because he's shortened the days for whom? The elect's sake. All right. Because otherwise, no flesh would be saved. You can read that in Matthew 24, right? Okay. And Yahweh Shem Shai is judging his people. All right. That's why you see you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans getting put to death on the daily, man, in mass numbers. All right. You get that Newsbreak app or, any of these other apps that track news, even just in your area, and you're in the local city that you reside in, you see you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans getting judged left and right. All right, for what? For your sins, for your iniquities, which is sin upon sin upon sin. All right, because the whole house of Israel, well, 2/3, I should say, aren't right, and they don't want to get right, and they're not going to get right, because someone, first and foremost, has to fill those positions of being the wicked of our own people. All right, and that's why he said in remnant, an elect of the nation of Israel that are going to do right by Yahweh Shem Shai to the best of their ability, man. Okay, they're going to show forth that effort, and they're going to call upon his name, Yahweh, which means he is or he exists, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers, who the world even calls Jesus. All right, so they're going to call him the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem. Then Ba'ashem means in the name, Yahweh Shai. All right, those are the names you need to call on, or to be saved, because Acts 4:12 says there's no name given under heaven, right? Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Let me not butcher that. It's Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in the other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Yep, and that's Yahweh Shem Shai. There ain't no Jesus. It ain't God. It ain't Yeshua, Yehoshua, Jesus Cristo. None of that. It ain't gonna be the Virgin Mary. It ain't Guadalupe. It ain't none of that. All right. It ain't these other false gods. It's Yahweh Shem Shai. And if you don't like it, hey, take it up with the Most High. All right. But we know the end result of that. You're gonna be put down now. All right. And let me get this real quick while it's on my mind. This is 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? And then first and foremost, that's going to be talking about the ones that know of the children of Israel. All right? That they're Israelites. especially those that are quote unquote calling themselves to be in the faith, right? You know, but ultimately over the whole, because the whole house of Yahweh Shemel Shai is the Israelites. They're the chosen people, in whole. But he set aside in the elect, because 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're just not gonna get it. They've been chosen to be vessels that are set for destruction, that are going to have to come back into the kingdom of heaven, as newborn babes born through the loins of the elect. Okay? But it says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved," see, the ones that are doing right, the elect, right? Because we're going to be put in positions to where we're barely going to make it out, make it out alive, quote unquote, right? But Yahweh Shem Shai is going to deliver us. All right, and you got to believe that. Those that are in the faith, you got to believe that Yahweh Shem Shai isn't going to put more than you can handle. All right, he always makes a way for his men to escape, men, women, and children of the elect to escape, right? It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? See? Which means what? They ain't gonna make it. All right. So if the righteous, the ones that are trying to do to the best of their ability for Yahweh Shem Shai, how much more the people that don't believe? All right. The ungodly, the ones that ain't trying to get right. You know. All right, they ass is gonna be up out of there. All right, let me get one more, and then we'll get reading some of this article. There's Amos 3:1. It says, "Hear this word that Yahweh Shem Shai has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." See, so he's gonna punish us for our sins, because technically we're the ones that can only truly sin, because for the fact that we were given the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, not all these other nations. Out of the 18 nations, he chose the children of Israel. All right, so we got to understand that, hey, that he's dealing with us as a nation, and that's why we're being punished. All right, that's why we're in the position that we're in the world. What, for disobedience? Ultimately, this is Yahweh Shem Shai's movie. So, just like any good movie, everybody loves a great comeback, or the underdogs coming out in great glory. That's what's going to happen for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Starting with the elect of the nation of Israel first. Okay? And I'll get one more to back that up real quick. Song. Oops, it's like it. Where am I going? Oops. This is Psalms 147-19. He showeth his word unto Jacob. And Jacob, who got his name changed to Israel after wrestling an angel. All right, because his name got changed to Israel, because Israel, which in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, which means he, Prince Power. He's a prince of the power. All right. So just like you Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, the males, right, were princes, right? And then, of course, the women are princesses, okay? Because what we were given, it says, his statutes and judgments unto Israel, he hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, so it's only given us. All right, so with such great law, statute, commandments, and which makes us holy, separate, which means separate. All right, that comes with what? Great responsibility. All right, because we've been given the service of Yahweh Shem Shai. And he turned his back on us for a season for disobedience, but now he's returned the elect, the remnant of the nation of Israel, all right, to come back to him, call upon his name, and do the righteous and rehearse the righteous acts. You read that in Judges 5 and 11. All right? Because we're not saying we're perfect because we're in the sinful flesh. But what Yahweh Shemashah is looking for is that effort. All right? Because like the scriptures say, faith without works is dead. So we exercise our faith by keeping the law, statute, commandments to the best of our ability. You know, knowing that the law can't justify our salvation, but the attempt of trying to be righteous, because we know our righteousness is filthy rags, you know, Yahweh Shemashah is going to honor that. Okay? Yeah, all right, let's go into this article. So it says the roof collapses at a Dominican Republic nightclub, killing at least 98 people. It says the roof of an iconic nightclub in the Dominican capital collapsed early Tuesday during a merengue concert attended by politicians, athletes, and others, leaving at least 98 people dead and 160 injured, authorities said. Crews were searching for potential survivors in the rubble at the one-story Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo, said Juan Manuel Mendez, director of the Center of Emergency Operations. Quotes, we continue clearing debris and searching for people. He said on Tuesday night, we are going to search tirelessly for people. It's lucky. Nearly 12 hours after the top of the nightclub collapsed onto patrons, rescue crews were still pulling out survivors from under the debris, shushing those around them so they could listen for faint cries for help. Firefighters removed blocks of broken concrete and used sawed pieces of wood as planks to lift heavy debris as the noise of drills breaking through concrete filled the air. Mendez said rescue crews were prioritizing 3 areas in the club. We are hearing some sounds. Nestle Cruz, the governor of the northwestern province of Montecristi and sister of 7-time Major League Baseball All-Star Nelson Cruz, was among the victims. She had called President Luis Abinader at 12:49 a.m., saying she was trapped and that the roof had collapsed. First Lady Raquel Abre told reporters. Officials said Cruz died later at the hospital. This is too great a tragedy, Abre said, her voice breaking. The Professional Baseball League of the Dominican Republic posted on X that former Major League Baseball pitcher Octavio Dodo, 51, also died. Officials had pulled Dodo from the debris earlier and brought him to a hospital. Also killed was Dominican baseball player Tony Enrique Blanco Cabrera, said league spokesperson Satoshi Tearo. Later Tuesday night, those still looking for their family and friends gathered around a man playing a guitar outside the club as they sang hymns. See, that's the problem. Singing hymns in the name of who? It ain't Yahweh Shema Shah, I guarantee that. Alright, see, that's the problem. And you know what? I know for a fact there's at least one brother in GMS that's out there in DR. Alright, the Dominican Republic, man. Bringing it out. And who's not to say that many of those people in that club, or hell, all of them, at one point in time came across the prophets. Okay? Alright, in our own personal life, we'll see that thing like, man, you ever heard that saying, oh, it's a small world, right? That's not too far-fetched that could have been all those people that got put down, all right? They could have very well heard the word of Yahweh Shem Shai one time or another. Could have mocked, scoffed, or whatever the case may be. Whether, or other wicked acts, whatever wicked acts they're doing, man. Not serving Yahweh Shem Shai, that's it. All right, so guess what? Judgment rang out. And the Lord is increasing on earth. Judgment, right? It says, officials said at least 160 people were injured, among them national lawmaker Bray Vargas. Relatives of merengue singer Ruby Perez, who was performing when the roof collapsed, initially said that he had been rescued, but Mendez said later Tuesday that wasn't true. He said rescue crews were still looking for Perez. Perez's manager, Enrique Paulino, whose shirt was splattered with blood, told reporters at the scene that the concert began shortly before midnight, with with the roof collapsing almost an hour later, killing group saxophonist. It quotes, "It happened so quickly, I managed to throw myself into a corner," he said, adding that he initially thought it was an earthquake. It wasn't immediately clear what caused the roof to collapse or when the jet set building was last inspected. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. What has to do is that Yahweh Shemel Shai rained down destruction on these people, man. Alright? Because the Lord is tired of wickedness, man. And who knows what was going on in that club, man. Or what has happened in the past, man. All we know is Yahweh Shemel Shai destroyed that fucking place, man. Okay? I'm going to keep reading here, But, if you want to check it out, you can go on AP or any other news site posting it. So you see, people looking like they don't know what's going on. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going down, man. All right, that's why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Let's get a few more scriptures. Oops, like it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. See? So that's Yahweh Shemel Shai reigning judgment. He said, what? To him, let me see this. Hold on, let me see. Issues. Psalm 68 and 20. All right, so hey, we just read Deuteronomy 32, 39 that he wounds and he heals. He kills and he makes alive. All right, neither is anyone delivered to his hand. So all those people that were put to death, right, at the club, first and foremost, that was set up from the beginning. I'll get that too, but it's at the hands of the Lord. All right, He's the one that's pulling the strings. Okay, Proverbs 20 and 24 says, "What man's going is of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way?" Right. So those people were programmed already to go. They're gonna get ready, think they're gonna have a good old time. They done got the concert tickets or whatever the case may be. They got their best suit or whatever they got, best shoes and blah blah blah. They about to have a good time. They think they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. And guess what? Yahweh Shemel Shai brought the hammer down on their ass. All right, you know. And there's so much idol worship and shit that goes on over there, amongst the tribes, man. So that's why Yahweh Shemel Shai is tired of it. Hey, one of the first commandments is what? Have no gods before me. And they constantly upholding Jesus Christo and all these other false idols, man. Okay? So guess what? Judgment came down. All right? But it's at the hands of the Lord. All right? Jacob used to be like, oh, see, the devil's at it again. No. Well, who employs the devil? Who employs Satan? Huh? Yahweh Shemel Shai. You can check that out in Job, the first chapter. Satan works for the Lord, man. He's an angel on the left-hand side. All right, he's perfect. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. He ain't out there just doing whatever he wants. Oh, Satan done got around the Most High again and tricked up his people and got them jacked up. No. Yahweh Shemel Shai got that roof jacked up to collapse on those people, man. This is Psalm 68 and 20. He that is our power is the power of salvation. And unto Yahweh Shemel Shai belong the issues from death. All right? So, hey, it's all of the Lord's doing, man. All right? So we can't, we can't really have no opinion on it, because who are we to say what the Lord should do and what should that? That's what you find these people doing If we'd have did this and that, man, all the ways of Yahweh Hashem Shai are perfect. All right. Hey, remember, hey, he's the potter and we're the clay. See, Jake be forgetting that, or they don't even think about that because they've been blinded by the God of this world, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, because Esau had that to give you that spirit, that do as thou will spirit, that pave your own path and just do it. You know all these phrases. Um, you know all that whack ass shit instead of being in order. Everything with Esau Edom is be out of order, be out of order. That's all it's saying at the end of the day. Be out of order, be out of order. Do as thou wilt. You know? When Proverbs 3 and 5 says what? Lean not unto thy own understanding, man. Right? Acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai in all thy ways, and he shall direct thy paths. See? That's the righteous thing to do. But here it is, we're in a wicked ass, backwards, bizarro world, man. That everything that's righteous is cast down while wickedness is upheld. Because what? Wicked rulership. Sirach, the 10th chapter tells, as the rulers, so as the judges, or vice versa, roughly paraphrasing. So, it is as the people. So as the rulers are, so are the people going to be. So if you got wicked rulership, well, guess what? What do you think how the people are going to act? Wicked. Because that's who they're going to look up to. They government officials, right? They're elites. Okay? Let's get this. One of my favorites. Boom. It's Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh Shema Shai, do all these things. See? So at the end of the day, that was all the Lord's doing, man. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right? Let's get this. Matter of fact, boom. This is Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Why won't Yahweh Shema Shai do iniquity? Because all his judgments are justified. All right, whether it be good or evil, it was justified. All right, the Lord is perfect. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. See? But the unjust knoweth no shame. All right? They don't understand the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right? They think you're supposed to be in this world doing whatever the fuck you want. There ain't no penalty to the sins that you're committing out here. When Romans 6 and 23 says what? The wages of sin is death. All right? Like I said, 1 John 3 and 4 says what? For sin is a transgression of the law. All right? So you only know sin but by the law. For all you retarded Christians that keep on beating that old ass argument, well, the law's done away with. Get your wicked ass away from us, man. Get your wicked ass away from us, man. That's why we're not dealing with you Christians, man. All right, like the apostles say, man, you need us. We do not need you. All right, tired of them same weak ass arguments. Take your ass up the street and be destroyed. In the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Shalak Rayam Wa Nashim Wa Haragim. To all you wicked ass niggas, man. Alright. Let's see here. What was I going to go to? Yeah, I'm going to probably just close it out with that. So hey, yeah, that's that oh no face, see? That's the look that you look like when, guess what? You ain't calling on your Yahweh Shem Shai. You don't know what to do. Lost in the sauce. So with that, I pray it was edifying to the elect. I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone rule well. Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom.